Hello everyone, today we're going to be looking at a scenario where Serbia forms an empire. So here we go. We got Serbia and obviously poor Kosovo is going to get invaded, but then they lose Pristina and Albania's like, no. Oh, wait. There we go. And Serbia's front stalls as the locals start to rise up. The Albanians start to rise up in Kosovo. However, Serbia is able to put down some of these rebels, but not all. And instead, the ones that were kicked out just retreated and joined Albanian military training camps on the border with Serbia. So yeah, that wasn't very good for Serbia. So now back and forth fighting there. Serbia isn't able to make any movement. And then said, Macedonia, Montenegro, let me either join me, let me go through you, or we're going to war. And they both say no. So yeah, that's gonna happen. Serbian troops enter into Macedonia, quickly capture Skopje, push and capture the south of Macedonia. Bulgaria is readying its troops along the border like this to get involved, but Serbian troops completely race through and capture all the sides. And Bulgaria is like, Serbia, what the hell? And then instead prepares war troops for something else. And then now, Macedonian troops have completely pushed. A few Macedonian troops pushed into Albania. Now Serbia starts an invasion into central Albania and starts to encircle Tirana, and kind of does semi-encircle it a bit. Albanian troops make a pushback over here, and meanwhile the Kosovan front falls apart, and Tirana is left on its own. Meanwhile, on the other side, Serbian troops start to enter and flow into Montenegro, and Kosovo fall now. Serbian troops reach the start of the proper Mediterranean, and no, what do you mean? No. Anyway, these guys all surrender, and let's have a look at a quick peace treaty where you guessed. Did you guess it at home? Montenegro, Kosovo, and North Macedonia all fully 100% annexed into the new Neo-Serbian Empire. And everyone's like, whoa, okay. So Croatia and Bosnia are ready their militaries. And now, Serbian troops stationed along the border. They're stationed along the border. Massive border defenses. They're preparing for a clash. It's just the inevitable when they join. Bosnian and Croatian troops start to join. And meanwhile, they were getting ready. Croatian troops start to march. Bosnian troops start get ready for defense. And then Serbian troops stop get ready and look like they're about to attack. So Bosnians attack. And Serbia's like, how dare you? I saw that. Why did you do that? We didn't start the war, you did. And they were like, what do you mean? So yeah, they declare war. Bosnia and Croatia joins in response. Serbia also declares war on Slovenia at the same time. And yeah. So now Serbia is at war with Bosnia, Croatia, and Slovenia. Meanwhile, Serbian troops enter now in the south. Are slow to enter as, they didn't actually, this is their plan. Get really close and make it look like we were going to attack. Fire a couple of bullets, but not directly at them. And then they would attack back, and then they would use it as like, and then Serbia would be the one to formally declare war. Which is exactly what happened. So yeah, Serbian troops enter over here. And then Serbian rebels pop up in Bosnia, and they're like, hey, I don't want to be in this country. Let me join Serbia. They're like, whoa, okay, fine. and Bosnia didn't really have time to react and decides the best decision to stay alive is to join Croatia and form a Slavic Defensive Union, the West Slav Defense Organization. Yeah, Bosnia is majority Muslim, and meanwhile the other ones, if they had to pick a religion, would be most majority Christianity or Christian and Orthodox. It's Eastern Orthodox or Serbian or Greek Orthodox. But anyway, yeah. They all unite and a massive pushback over here occurs. Pushback in the south of Bosnia. However, Serbian troops still hold on to this front, even though it's got very thin now. Meanwhile, Serbian troops push along the border of Hungary, push in from here, and start create a little front over here. Like that. Now they enter more into Croatia and get close, and I'd say Zagreb or Ljubljana would be the capital. Maybe Ljubljana because it's furthest away from the war. Maybe Zagreb because it's kind of central. But yeah, Serbian troops have stopped focusing down here, which allows for a pushback and counterattack, which the Serbians are like, whoa, we didn't expect that. Down here south in Bosnia, so there's a massive defensive wall, and a re-entrance begins into southern Bosnia by by a couple 100,000 Serbian reserves. The reason why Serbia is going to be a little bit less advanced than some of the other empire videos is because they have a very small population. Greece has more people than them. Saudi Arabia has 40 million. Turkey and everything like that. Other countries have more available manpower, whereas Serbia doesn't really. And with Albania and that, now only have probably the same population as Greece currently before their invasion. So yeah, Serbian troops continue up here, despite the pushbacks and the rearrangement of troops up here into some Croatia. And they start to get encircled, and they reach the coastline up here, start to get encircled, so they decide, okay, we're not going to do that. And instead push up here. Croatian troops make a pushback and start to push up here instead and encircle Zagreb. And Croatia's like, what the? And massive counterattack. They also continue up here and encircle Ljubljana. Meanwhile, Croatian troops that are stuck up here manage to break the troops and kick out some troops and kill some troops, which is not good for Serbia. But they are able to once again push back and lead to a kind of capital encirclement front. Meanwhile, down here, Bosnian troops are being pushed back to this kind of defensive line to help up here because they are getting support from lots of countries. They are able to make a tiny line to help it. Now Serbia is getting economic support from Russia, as well as also being buffed by me, so happy days. Not many people can be buffed and get economic support. And these guys might be the only ones to do that. It's good for you, Serbia. So yeah, this tiny gap is made which allows some troops to escape. But yeah, and then immediately Serbian troops notice this crossing and cut it off. And kill all the troops in here. And Ljubljana falls, and this allows for an encirclement and a capturing of Zagreb. Serbian troops push along here in Croatia, and now start to push along the Bosnian, the majority Croatian, but some tiny bit Bosnian coast, which is why it's not landlocked. Technically, though, it kind of is. And now the advancement speeds up, and eventually a peace deal is reached. San Marino's not in the war, just it's kind of helpful. So this whole area is going to be annexed by Serbia, all the countries that they just fought. And this is kind of like Yugoslavia. So, and it calls itself the Greater Slav Empire because it's Yugoslavia and then it has Albania as well, which is nice. So yeah, who is the Serbia going to attack now? Serbia declares war on Bulgaria, and this ultimately leads Romania to get involved, and Moldova. Hungary also declares war on Serbia, and Serbia's like, yay, more for me. Serbian troops enter into southern Bulgaria, prepared for this. They also enter into Romania before a counterattack is met, which allows for a pushback over here. And Serbian troops also push the Yugoslav troops now enter into Hungary. Hungary is not prepared for this, doesn't have enough troops. And now, once the full troops and armory and military gets involved, this allows for a complete capitulation. Hungary is cornered off and Budapest falls. And a few Hungarian resistance troops recapture both Budapest and push towards Romania, and Romanian troops push towards it. And then they're like, no, we're not getting encircled. So instead, pushes up here. And then they eventually meet with Romania, which allows for a recapturing of some northern Hungarian provinces. And the start of the re-siege of Budapest. Budapest is there. Like, maybe there. I'd say it's probably there. Not bad. But yeah. The re-siegement begins. Hungarian and Romanian troops start to push back. Italy on the front. Whereas down here, South Bulgaria isn't so lucky. Maybe next time you should move the capital from Sofia, which is right on the border. And Sofia is encircled and captured pretty early. That's true, which basically contributes to a complete collapse. Bulgaria. Serbian troops push along the Greek coast, the Greek and Turkish borders, reach the Black Sea, up to Varna and Burgas, I think maybe. And this means Bulgaria surrenders now. And a stiff defensive front is held. And now the Battle of the Budapest province begins. I think it's called Budapest province. But Bucharest is here. Wait, Bucharest is there. Sofia is already gone. Yugoslavia is Belgrade. Budapest is there. And Chisinau is there. Yeah, that's what we got right now. So Serbia is going to go ahead and annex Bulgaria. And now the Greater Yugoslav Empire, stretching from the Mediterranean to the Black Sea. Pretty nice looking empire, if I say so myself. It's very nice, actually. That Albania, it looked really cool. Like, if it looked like that as well. Yeah, pretty nice, long kind of empire. And now it reaches the outskirts of Bucharest. Encircles some of it, however, Romanians become probably what might be their last counterattack of the whole war, and kind of push them away from Bucharest a little bit, which leads to the Serbians to focus on here, which captures their coast instead, which is not very good. But the last, yeah, then they Meanwhile, the re-siege of Budapest is going well with Hungarian freedom fighters able to recapture the city, but then Serbian troops come back in and literally wipe this all out. And this front starts to collapse. Bucharest falls. Romania has no chance. So then some Romanian troops manage to recapture some more parts of Bucharest and start to push a little bit more in Transylvania, but that's most likely the last thing they're going to do as a sovereign state, so say goodbye. Say your goodbyes to Romania. And the last thing they're going to do is unite with Moldova and move their capital to Chisinau. Old Rosie to Chisinau, and it falls and the state collapses. So, peace treaty here. Romania, Moldova completely annexed. Hungary completely annexed. And that's mostly kind of where the empire would look. I think this might be the biggest Serbia would ever get ever if it had like, yeah, that's kind of what it looked like. Something like that. Pretty cool. I think it would go for a bit more, so we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna have a. After that, we're gonna have a quick look at um. So all alliances are disbanded whenever you do the Empire videos because it wouldn't be realistic. They wouldn't be able to get Croatia would involve NATO and EU, and Serbia would get kicked out, and it wouldn't be realistic anyway. It wouldn't be fun if I had an alliance. So yeah, now after this is most likely happen in 5 years, everyone's like, okay, this is I've had enough of this. So all of Europe is going to decide all previous relations are fine, except Russia kind of been supplying them, but then Serbia's got too much, and no, Russia's not been supplying them. But we're not going to say that anyway. They've got really really big now, and we're going to imagine that San Marino doesn't exist anymore because it's annoying. So yeah, Serbia's had quite a few quiet years, but then obviously decides. But in this video, quiet years are quiet seconds. So they get right back into war. This time declaring war on Ukraine. And now Europe is completely speeding up its operations for a counteroffensive to recapture some of Serbia and re-liberate all the countries that they've annexed. So huge border defenses put along the walls, castles and towers. Serbia's like, okay, I don't like this. So now it gets all its armies ready. Also, at the same time, just before that, it declares war on Greece as well as Ukraine a couple weeks after. So yeah, Greece is involved in the war as well. Now, let's get into it. So first, Serbian troops enter into this panhandle of Greece. They go right the way through it. They're also going to capture Thessaloniki, kind of a big city. Pretty important. Now they're going to start to enter into mainland Greece. And how about we have a capital again? So Athens is here. And Kiev is there. Yeah, Serbian troops enter into this small panhandle of Ukraine, going around here, start to push in, capture Subcarpathia, enter into the southern areas of Ukraine, completely go something like that. And Ukraine does make a counterattack as it's receiving incredibly high amounts of supplies from the West and basically every country in the world. And yes, I have confirmed that Russia is now no, it was never supplying Serbia. So yeah, Serbia's like, all right, that's all I want from Ukraine, and they're like, okay then, okay sure, just get out. So Serbia is going to annex all of this. Just like that. Now, annex it into the sovereign, the Greater Slavic Empire, and Ukraine has been made into a satellite state. So, satellite state, how am I going to do a color for satellite state? I am going to pick green. Satellite states are going to be in green. So yeah, Greece has been turned, no, Ukraine has been turned into a satellite state. Meanwhile, back to Greece. Serbian troops start to race in. Not much defensible land here, but then Serbians reach over here, and they're not happy with that. So instead they land on this island. I don't know what it's called, but they land on it, and Greece is like, whoa, and makes a huge counteroffensive, and yeah, it kind of recaptures all of that. It also pushes back up and stops here as Serbian reinforcements have arrived. Meanwhile, throughout this war, as soon as it captured Montenegro in the first bit, it's been heavily investing because it's got probably the biggest economy we're going to imagine in the world, and it's got the strongest military. It just randomly, because I gave it that and I said so. And I'm gonna give it, just gonna plop in an extra 100 million Serbians because that's good. No, 200 million Serbians, yeah, so they have enough to make enough to have an actual 100 million people in here, and then they can send 50 million people for assimilating across this year, and also enough for military. So yeah, Serbian Navy re-arrives, but the Greeks once again make a huge counteroffensive, and they're able to stop here. But now the Serbian Navy is going to leave this port over here and another port in Montenegro, Budva, I think, and they're going to meet together over here. They go right down, and Italy is going to see this. Italy spots some ships off the coast of here, and Serbia's like, oh no, they found it. So then instead they push along the Serbian coast over here, and once they reach Corfu, which is not on this map but it is now, they're going to use that as a stopping military base. So we'll do that. So then it goes over here, stealth mode along the coast. After Italy spotted it, they've disappeared. Some ships are still spotted though down here. And they reach Corfu and they come down here. And they spin in two directions. One goes on to land in this part of Greece. And the other one goes down here to capture some of the islands. So yeah, incoming naval invasion. Serbian ships are spotted. Ships are spotted off the coast of Greece, and Greece is like, oh no, it's time, isn't it? So yeah, Serbian troops land and capture Crete, Rhodes, some of these Greek islands. They capture Santorini over here, and some of their navy is transported up to here. Some of their navy boats go through the Gallipoli Straits, pay Serbia to go through the Gallipoli Strait. And now, yeah, they land right next to Athens, and the Battle of Athens begins. They push like that, but Greece is still able to hold on and pushes back a tiny bit. But then troops land over here and start to encircle, and Greece falls. So what's gonna happen here? Greece is gonna get fully annexed. Yay! No satellite state for you, Greece. You're just gonna join me. Fun, fun. So yeah, now this country thing is getting really big, and it also, meanwhile, in the next few years, because I can't be bothered, is gonna also get annexed and attack Czechia and Slovakia. It prepares to attack Poland until, drum roll. Yep, the whole world declares war on Serbia and Ukraine satellite state. And Serbia's like, okay then. Wasn't really expecting that, but okay. So now the whole world's military strength is going to be like that. Basically, imagine that the whole world is united into one country, but they still have all their countries inside. So it's kind of like USSR. So yeah, Russian and Polish troops will enter now into the Ukrainian puppet state with little to no resistance because the people don't want to be a satellite state. They're going to reach and capture Kiev. This is basically going to lead to the capturing of this, and now the reintegration as Ukraine is now its own country. Yay! Welcome back, Ukraine. We missed you. So yeah, the world is now sending all its troops to the front. Germany, Polish, and Austrian troops, as well as basically American and just everyone from the west of this line is going to be sending troops up here, and everyone onto the east of to the north of this line is going to be sending troops to this front, and the rest of it, so country can be split in half, is everything under this line is going to be sending to here. So yeah, massive attacks, naval battles, huge attacks, and yeah, Sudetenland falls. Germany makes a push through and captures Prague, and the Czechians are happy to leave. Meanwhile, Slovakians, Austrians just so basically, even though it's a greater Yugoslav empire, they still have a tiny bit of autonomy, but basically Serbia's everything. So yeah, they capture Bratislava, and the Slovakian one breaks away. They push in and capture Budapest, and the Hungarian one starts to break away. Serbia starts to lose ground. Ukrainian troops start to rush in through here, capturing all their previous land, with Moldova and Romania over here. However, Serbia is able to stall this for a while. Meanwhile, on the other side, Italian, Austrian, and all the Western troops over here, African, Middle Eastern, Chinese, Indian, Turkish troops, and everything as well over here. Japanese start to make naval landings over here in southern Greece, and along with Greek rebels are able to push up in here. Albanians rebel, as well as Kosovo. Macedonia rebels. Bulgaria also does as well. Romania does. Bosnia. And now the Serbia starts to collapse and eventually is completely forced out of the war. So here's a peace treaty.